And I hope that it's been able to help you and inspire you and encourage you to continue on your healing journey. What's going on? What's going on? It's Lady Dre, and welcome to Healing Session. I hope that you're having an amazing, abundant, prosperous, loving, fulfilling, masterful, purposeful, harmonious day. I hope this message finds you well. Okay, so I wanted to come and just share some thoughts with you because I know I was thinking the other day, I was like, if I knew this before I started my healing journey, I probably wouldn't have done it. I'm grateful that I started my journey, right? But I was just thinking, I was like, yeah, if I didn't know these things before I started, right? And so I wanted to come and share some things that for myself, I was like, wow, I wish I would have known that before I started my journey. And so one of the things was I didn't know how much loss I would have to deal with, And if you are like me in that, you dealt with it growing up and things like that, whether it be rejection or abandonment, real quickly, like, loss is normal. It becomes normal, right? But in this process of healing, I realized, like, I dealt with a huge amount of loss, right? Whether it was friends, family, relationships, jobs, like it was like eye-opening how much loss that I dealt with just over the last 10, 15 years, right? But it was strictly based on my elevation, right? My growth. And so that was one of the things that I wish I would have known how much I would lose before I started out. Because granted, if I would have known that, I don't think that I probably would have started. Which I'm grateful that I started, but I don't think that I was not prepared for the amount of loss that I would have to deal with when it came to just me wanting better for myself, me wanting to show up as my best self, me wanting to elevate spiritually, mentally, physically. And so I want to encourage you to know that, yes, you may have to deal with loss on this journey, but I'm here to also tell you too that God replaces the thing that you lost. He replaces it. Not saying that those relationships can ever be replaced, because they were needed, obviously, for those periods of time in your life, right? Whether it was the job, whether it was the friendship, whether it was the family, whatever, they were needed at that point in time in your life. And so I want to encourage you to know that if you may find yourself in this space right now where you feel like, okay, I don't have no friends, I'm in no relationship, I barely speak to family, I just want to encourage you to know that you are not alone. One, you are not alone. And the reality is that it wasn't necessarily always me walking away from situations or relationships or family. It was also the other way around too, where they may have walked away from me. Whether it was because my light was too bright, whether it was because they just didn't understand what I was going through spiritually. And so I want you to know, though, that at the end of the day, like, you're going to be protected. And in that protection, yes, you may, deal with some loss. You may deal with people walking away from you walking away from people. But just know that it is a part of the course in order for you to evolve and to grow. Not to say that there won't be people in your life that will stay, or situations or things that are permanent fixtures in your life. And really, to be all the way real with you, nothing's permanent, right? But, it was just interesting because I just didn't realize, like, how many times that I would have to, like, walk away from someone because I had to choose me, right? And that's the crazy thing, is because it opens you up to realize, like, just how many times you didn't pick yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about on those selfish, like, it's all about me. No, I'm talking about just on the strength of how many times that you put somebody before you, their feelings before you, what they were going through before you. How many times did you do that, right? How many times did you minimize your feelings, your how you felt or how you showed up? How many times did you, not make it a big deal about you, right? And so those were some of those things that came up where it came up with loss, and I had to walk away from friendships, people that I've been friends with for over 20 years, because realizing that, prior to that, I was putting them on pedestals, but also in that understanding that if I'm putting somebody on a pedestal, that must mean that I think lower of myself, right? And so when you start raising your vibration and when you start getting to a place where you understand your worth, understand, who you are, you're moving in self-love, you're moving in self-acceptance, you're moving in self-awareness, you will start to begin to see those things that you're like, okay, well, I don't know if I don't move like that, I'm not doing the things that you do. No shade to you and how you move, but I just don't resonate with that anymore. And since I don't resonate with that anymore, I'm just going to choose to remove myself from those situations. And so, granted, and even in that, you'll go through those periods of isolation where it's just meant for you to be, it's just the journey with you and God. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not here to frighten you, make it seem like you're going to lose everything. So I'm not saying that, but the things that are not meant to be in your life will be gone. That's it. They're going to be gone. And people that are meant to stay, or situations or jobs or careers that are meant to be there, they'll be there, But I will say, though, that I didn't realize how much loss comes with healing, but also too, it's just a matter of what you're healing, what you need to heal, and for me, mine was surrounded around self-awareness, self-love, self-acceptance, right? And so there was things that I had to heal for myself, and that unfortunately was, it had a lot to do with how much I put other people on a pedestal versus putting myself on one. And so I just want to encourage you to not give up on your journey, right? To not think that something's wrong with you because you may be finding yourself in a spot right now where you feel like you're by yourself, or you feel like you don't have any friends, or you're not in a relationship, or you just don't want to be bothered with nobody. Because granted, listen, we all need love, right? We all need support. And if you are healing at a level where right now you need some time to yourself, then that's fine, right? But I will also say too, do not be in a space where you are doing this hyper healing where you just push everybody away and you don't need nobody, because that's not the case, right? And I even went through that phase too of just, it was the extreme, right? But I also understood though who needed to be there and who didn't, right? And you'll go through ebbs and flows when it comes to healing, but I just want to encourage you to not give up, you know what I'm saying? And even if you find yourself right now in a space where you feel like you don't have no friends, or you may not be in a relationship, like, it's only temporary. It's temporary. But while you're going through this temporary phase, love on yourself, accept yourself, be in a space where you know that God's going to take care of you regardless, right? You're going to be taken care of regardless. And no matter wherever you find yourself right now in this very moment, know that you're not alone. Even if physically it may feel like that, you're not alone. God is with you always, right? And trust in the process. Trust in knowing that, one, everything's going to work out how it needs to. And know that, when it's all said and done, it's not in vain. Know that you are going to be taken care of. You are protected. And just find yourself in a space where you are within divine flow, right? Divine flow of abundance, divine flow of peace. And know that, yeah, all is well. All is well. All is well. So I know this was kind of a long video, but I just wanted to encourage you to continue to keep loving yourself, continue to keep accepting yourself, continue to keep elevating, continue to keep growing, motivating yourself to be your best self, right? Be inspiration to yourself, be inspiration to others, right? But yeah, it's all love. It's all love. So those are just some things that I wish I knew before I started my healing journey. But to be frank with you, if I knew how much loss I would have to deal with before I started, I probably wouldn't start it. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't know, right? I love y'all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, y'all be easy.